What you doing? I'm here talking to the theacstories for this alcohol anime. This is a big one, weird one. This is what the fuck did I watch and drink? Yeah, I know why I drink. That part's the easy part. You know why I watch because you click on this. I'm sorry. Okay, let me take a breathe. Okay, I watch Kurayukaba and Kuramerukagari, two different anime films. The length of what I would prefer to be the minimum of an anime film because they're about 2 hours together. And I just barely knew what was going on. But here's the reason I did this. I have a week of just nothing. And I was like, I need to take advantage of this and knock out what I thought was going to be two full length films because apparently I never check into things properly before I do it. So they're only about an hour piece, which is about one movie to me. So it didn't take as long. I had more time if I wanted to do it a different time. But I have the time now, so I just went ahead and did it. And the other thing is, I'm just going to jump right into the alcohol part because it's simple. I have people coming over at the end of the week that apparently I can't have alcohol around. So I'm trying to get rid of all the alcohol. So I was like, this is just going to be a knockout month of me knocking out a couple films and knocking out my whatever alcohol I left over, which includes a lot of stuff that I just had a tiny amount left from the other episodes I've done of this. And then like a bunch of other beers, ciders, hard lemonades, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't prepare a specific drink. I thought about maybe mixing a little bit of each of them together, but then I don't know. I didn't want to like just pour a bunch or a little of each thing because it's a variety of things, and then have that sitting over. I do have my giant ass mug that I could pour stuff into. I've used it before for this podcast, but it's like I don't know how that'll go. It's not like it's anything weird. A lot of it will just be whatever. And I was like, if just a little bit, then the rest of it's just sitting there going flat or stale. And I was like, I didn't want to do that either. So I was like, I'm just going to drink whatever I drink. And I mean, I did polish off a good bit of stuff because it was still two films. And since it's not some weird drink, it was easy to drink. Like I started off with finishing off my Guinness. Then I have a blueberry ale. Or no, blueberry cider. Then I have some Simply Spiked limeades. And I still have some Midori and blue curacao. I'll just finish all that off. Oh, no, I just forgot, and there's no way I'm finishing that off. Ooh, maybe I'll drink some of that next if I need to pause recording just to go refill my cup, which I think I might. I have some lavender limoncello, but it's so sweet and potent with the limoncello part, and you can't drink too much of it. I've had it for I feel like years at this point because I say it's not actually mine, but nobody else has been drinking it, and I don't. Maybe I should drink some of that because it would be the thing that kind of fits the most into one of the films because of the lavender-ish part. So yeah, I'm just drinking. That's it. I'm just drinking. And there's not. I don't know. I can think of or try to on the spot create drinks that would fit these movies. Kind of. They drink beer in the films, just no name beer, whatever. So that could be a thing. About like a lavendery purple, because I'm thinking of like a purple haze. Because the first one I'll talk about, and the first one I watched, the Kurayukaba, it's supposed to be like foggy and like a purple haze is going through it. It's actually kind of disorienting watching it at first. You get used to it, I guess. So maybe that could be like the lavender. And does it like seem hazy on whatever you're drinking? I don't know. Or hazy. You could get like a hazy IPA. Something like that. Yeah. Ooh, do both. Hazy IPA with just literally a few drops of the lavender limoncello because it's that strong and sweet. I don't like drinking sweet stuff that much. But yeah, So that'll be it for Kurayukaba. Actually, it might. What color was it? I think it was greenish. And Kuramerukagari, there's not really anything that stands out that I can make a drink from. But there is this, like, not purple. I think it's a greenish goo. Yeah, like these green globs that get shot out. Which I'll get to when I talk about the actual films. So maybe something green like that, but I have the limeade that's supposed to be green. It's clear actually when I drink it. Oh, I have the meadery, so that could be like the green globs, but how would I make that kind of globby? Like a jello shot of that? Oh, a meadery jelly shot. Jello. Yeah, it's the same thing. That could be something. Because that's the only thing that would really stick out. There's nothing else that's... They're short things. There's not really that much that goes on. It's just kind of weird movies. I would read you the last note I took for these films was, what the fuck was the point of these? Because it was honestly... If this was like a pilot or like just an experiment, an example kind of production where it's like kind of like a proof of concept more of things, like here's something we want for a series, this is just a taste of it, then it's like, oh, okay, that's cool, I could see that working. I don't think that's what this is. I think this is done. I doubt anything else is coming from it. So I don't know, but those would kind of be my drinks, and it might be a little disappointing because that's it. That's all for the alcohol. I'm just trying to get rid of stuff, just like I'm trying to get through my list of films. Well, I guess that also kind of covers my watching experience. I'm at home. I'm not really doing much. I'm just watching anime, trying to catch up on anime actually, and manga. A lot of stuff. I'm getting a lot of stuff done actually. I'm proud of myself. But I need money. And let's see. That's it. I've had these on my list for a while. I didn't realize how recent these films actually are. I didn't hear anything about them. I think they're based off a book, maybe. I think so. But I'm trying to remember vaguely, like the summaries, but I'll just get into who the director and writer, the writer of the original story, which I think is Kurayukaba, and then Kuramerukagari was like a spin-off of Kurayukaba that somebody else did. But the original writer-director was Shigeyoshi Tsukahara, with the spin-off scenario by Ryogo Naruto. And then music by Chota Akatsuki with production studio, animation studio, Team 11. I don't really know anything about them. And then the distributors, who I also don't know anything about, Tokyo Theaters and Twin Engine. This was the hardest or most kind of frustrating. I wish I would have done it before I started watching, because trying to do this right before recording after I've already drank plenty is kind of... I'm just hoping I didn't miss anything or I left something out. I'm pretty sure information is right. I was looking through a bunch of different news things and websites, even going to the official website, looking through all that stuff, doing a lot more work to try to find information about this and double check and make sure it's right, because some stuff was weird and didn't make sense, and I had to double check with other sources and this. But I think what I got is accurate. I may have missed something or forgot something I usually talk about. I'm not sure. The weirdness continues though, because both these films came out in Japan in theaters April 12th, 2024. Is short films just common in Japan? You don't have that too often in the US, unless it's a Japanese film where it's just an hour. Is that usual? I don't like that. That's so short. I don't think I would go see... Well, I didn't, because I had a choice. Look Back, which I thought about doing on here, but it's so short. I didn't want to go to the theater, pay all that, just to see, like... I don't even think it's a full hour. was like, no, I don't need to do that. Also, I wasn't a fan of Chainsaw Man. I know it's not the same series, but same creator. And I was like, yeah, well, who knows? Anyways, that's a different film. But yeah. And then the news I kept finding because I was trying to find where it's streaming. It's streaming on Crunchyroll. So, thankfully. And I don't know if there's a dub. I didn't even bother checking. I saw the sub, and that's what I'm good with. But I kept looking at news, trying to find press releases of when these would got on Crunchyroll, and usually it's pretty easy. I couldn't find anything about it. Everything I kept finding was like, yeah, it'll be on Crunchyroll later, or it'll be on Crunchyroll, they'll be streaming it, and I was like, when? And finally just going to through the app, but actually on the webpage, says they were added to Crunchyroll on April 11th, 2024. So I can only assume it was simultaneously put on Crunchyroll when it released in Japan. Because, like a time difference, which seems like a day apart. So, yeah, I assume it's just simultaneously. Otherwise, there's no way it was before Japan on Crunchyroll. I think that happens sometimes. And then the little last bit of information I found was there was also a manga adaptation on April 5th, 2024. I'm pretty sure it's 2024. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And Mad Garden's monthly comic garden, who I just recently found out. There was someone I was talking about last time. Oh, it was, what did the girl on the other side, who did the manga on there? It was in that magazine. Dang. Huh. I need to look more into them. That's 2 in a row. But yeah, I don't know anything else about the manga. It's weird if they do put it out before the film. And I'm pretty sure this is what actually normally happens. Is putting it out before the film. Huh. But it's like not even a week before. So it's about the same time. But what happens if they start reading the manga and then it gets spoiled? But I guess it's enough time. It was like one chapter and then gets you excited, ready for it. Yeah. But, yeah, that's it. That's all the information I at least found and took note of for myself. It's just weird. Normally, I'm able to find the info pretty easily. So, hey, this is a helpful thing for you. I collected it for you. Still double check me. Always double check your sources. Should be doing that anyways. I normally do anyways, but usually it's easier to do and quicker. This time it was just so scattered and pieces everywhere, and no one's really talking about it because I don't know why it seemed like it's such a secret, because I never heard of these before. And I keep up with anime news and it still slips past my radar. So, especially these films. It's like if it's not one of the big, Miyazaki or like another who did Your Name and all the Weather With You, all those. I'm blanking on names. Or like if it's a big movie from an ongoing series, like a My Hero movie or whatever. Or a recap film. I don't know why the fuck recap films are so popular. What a waste of time. I don't want to go watch a shorter version of something I already watched. Even though I did do an episode. Like one of my first episodes for this podcast was a Haikyuu recap film. Anyways. I didn't watch Haikyuu beforehand, so it works out. Anyways. That's it for the info. Let's actually talk about each of these films. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot to say. I'm going to talk about them. There's really not much to these, and they're weird. I probably have more to say about just how I felt and thought about them than what actually happened. So, So, remember when I said, I need to go refill my drink and maybe try some of the limoncello lavender thing? I just didn't. And turns out, if you mix it with an already fruity cider, it's not as potent. So, maybe I should put more in it. I don't know. I didn't want to overdo it but it actually tastes fine. So, I got another drink. Anyways, what was I doing? I was talking about, the Kurayukaba, the first film. It is exactly according to Crunchyroll, 1 hour, 3 minutes, 44 seconds. And this one was, All of them. This one was the harder one to keep up with and taking notes. If you keep up with my Instagram, I finished my notebook. Finished filling out a full notebook that was mostly notes on reviews and this podcast. And I didn't want to start a new one, just saving paper and whatever. So I was like, I'm going to start trying to take notes on my phone. And I'm just not. I don't like using my phone. I could use my laptop, I guess, but I didn't want to move my laptop. Anyways, and it was hard to do because this film, well, like, it's just weird. It's disorienting. I already told you about like the fogginess, the hazy. It's intentional, but it's just hard to get into. And I was already drinking before this. It's not like I started drinking when I started watching the film, so it was already like, ooh, it was. That's how I felt the whole time. Anyway, so it took me a moment to just get settled into this because it was also so fast paced. The beginning of it just went and went. I didn't know anyone's names. I barely knew what was going on. I was like, there's a detective, some kid being asked to do something. They keep saying something about the dark. Where is this? Or what kind of city is this? I don't know. Eventually, I get it under control, and it takes place kind of at least above ground city is Ogi City, where a bunch of people have just been disappearing and no trace of them except for there's these like little tiny tread tracks that are left, and they go somewhere until they go nowhere. And apparently we learn throughout this, it's been going on for more than a decade. There's a lot of stuff. I told you this doesn't feel fully fleshed out because there's a middle part that actually feels like it's an actual movie pace. The rest is just like, bam, we gotta do this real fast, and then it's like, bam, we gotta finish this real fast. So at least in this beginning part, there's a detective, Sotaro, who's, I guess, parent, also a detective, disappeared at some point. I don't think it fully tells you or explains what happens, or maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe there's more to it, but we only have an hour, so we can't tell you that. I don't know. So, I don't think officially a detective. I think since the parent was a detective, Satoru's just kind of taking that role. But it's hard to look for something in the dark. I don't know the exact details. It just kept going so fast. But eventually, Satoru gets a kid named Saki to go look first. Does it seem irresponsible? Yeah, but because it's supposed to be dangerous in the dark, some underground place. I don't know. I don't know. Where there's a group called the Laughing Mask. They're kind of in control, kind of violent, very gun-toting, whatever. You know the kind. Trust me, you know the time. You know the kind. But yeah, then Saki disappears too. Cool. So then Satoru ends up having to go down. Saki, the kid is also looking for someone in Monobe. I don't know if that's also Satoru's parent too, or I don't know. And Satoru also sees these like little lizardy creatures. Common one is a red one and a white one. We eventually find out, unless I missed it in the beginning, that they're called Kuda foxes. Sees those kind of keep leading Satoru. Then eventually goes down. A lot of people just wearing like the little eye mask and doing business. It seems kind of dumpy because it's underground. But you can take like a train down there, or there's transportation down there, so it's not like it's a completely like forbidden bad area. It seems more like the slums if you want to think of it that way. And then the chaos happens. Laughing Mask pops up. There's a shootout. And all this, like I'm saying, is really fast paced. And all this is happening in the first 10 minutes. And then that's when we get the credits. And it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's so disorienting. But this is where it finally kind of slows down a bit. So you can kind of figure out what's going on. Ooh, so during all this chaos, there's like an armored. I don't know if they're police, if they're just like railway authority or something like that. I don't know exactly who they are. I'm pretty sure it says police at one point, so that's why I kept saying it or noting it as. But there's like an armored train called Demon 463, or maybe that's the group. And they're the ones that come through and like start trying to get back at the laughing mask. And then there's like a police person who has like a white lizard. Learn's name is Taki Nogawa Tane. I'll just say Tane from now on. It has some of the other. I keep saying police. I think in the summary it just says mysterious train conductor. And it doesn't seem completely accurate, but I guess. But has other police-like people knock out the detective and brings back to the surface. Cool. And then throughout this, there's also like these little things that pop up about, oh, there's a circus in town coming. Also, there's like this weird wooden bird owl and like some kind of wooden. They look wooden. I don't know if they're actually made of wood, but they look like those little wooden dolls, almost totemy. But one's like a rodent. I don't know exactly what kind of animal it's supposed to be, but they're like kind of narrating little events that happen. Not so much in this one. In the next movie, they're a lot more just upfront about it. And then there's also like, I don't know how to describe it, almost like wind up puppet show that is kind of represents Satoru's memory or past backstory, all those kind of weird, like something's going on and it's like Satoru's trying to remember or is just dreaming about this, kind of keeping up with that like jester clown aesthetic. A lot's going on. Circus keeps getting mentioned. It seemed like at some point this Tane person is supposed to be involved with the circus. I think it's hard to tell. It goes by so fast, and I'm drinking, so there's that too. And my dog just wants to be pet so much. That was another thing. Dog would not want to leave me alone. Right now, already beside me. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Where was I at? So the train. What did I say? What? Mm-hmm. Oh, so I guess the train, or like the common folk train that anybody could take, stops going to the dark. So Sotaro has to look through these other little tunnels that lead back into it. It's it disguises as a laughing mask, running into people met already, like a little watch vendor person, just another rando who I'm glad they keep popping up, but it's also like, okay, cool, sure. And then it's chased by whatever authority that I keep thinking are police. They're chased by them. Then saved by the other laughing masks, thinking they're on the same team or whatever. Then the laughing masks, they go to a place still all underground, called the water quarter. And I don't get what is going on, because this water quarter seems like a lively place that people could be living, but they were already kind of living in a place. Maybe they were driven out of the water quarter by the laughing mask, because that's who's kind of in charge of it now, and driven more towards the outskirts, in between the dark and the surface. But then it also seems like the cops or the police or whatever were trying to suppress the other people, so they had to go somewhere further into the dark instead of where they were already at. I don't know. It made no sense. Well, that's pretty much what happens in life. So yeah, they go to the water quarter. Eventually, it turns out the Demon 463 are there, or they show up. Tane tries to talk to I assume who is the leader of the Laughing Mask, about how their child also just randomly disappeared. Things go south, though. Tane says something about, oh no, they're just still in the dim. The dark is still much deeper and scarier. And that doesn't fucking matter. You say this like cryptic shit, and it's like, oh, that's cool, we're going to see what's even deeper and darker. No, we don't. Because from here, we only go back up. Eventually. Anyways, this is also where we kind of learn about Akuta Fox leads Satoru back to these railway police. specifically Tane and another kind of like badass. I don't know the like role or the position, but someone named Tomoyomi, just stone face, just fighting, following commands and fighting, pretty cool. And then they have Satoru get taken away in a big machine. Satoru eventually kind of gets shot in the hand, or it hurts the hand. Yeah. And then, after a bunch of gunfights and all this, the other people also revolt against the Laughing Mask, and they finally reclaim the water quarter. So, I don't know. That what I said earlier must be what actually happened. I feel like everything I'm saying is speculation, which makes no sense because I watch these films. Oh, also, spoiler, I'm talking about what happened. It might make no sense to you. They're on Crunchyroll. Go give it a try watching. You might make more sense of it than me. I don't know. And they look pretty cool. I didn't really read the description that much. I thought there would be more just intertwining films. Kind of like, there was 2 films I watched a while ago. Oh, where Guinness was also the answer. I don't know. I thought it'd be something like that. It's not really. It's more like the second spinoff was inspired by or played off of, kind of. But, so, water quarter is reclaimed. They're looking through the palace in the which is full of traps, but they get rid of those easily. Nothing really bad happens. Then they do find Saki up on the second floor of this palace, like dressed up, kind of be like a baby or a baby doll. The whole room, it seems like a big baby playroom kind of deal, but there's all these little tracks all over the wall. And here's the other bullshit thing. I don't think we ever truly learn what these little tracks are. They look little to me. Maybe it's just perspective makes them look little and they're actually like full-size tracks. I don't know. It makes no sense. But they found Saki. Saki just goes back, leaves, go back up to the surface. There's that. And this, and then that's where like the actual movie pace part of this ends, because then it goes into a bunch more stuff. We dive back into like that weird puppety dream-esque sequences of Mamoru and his merry band. Something about the circus. Satoru remembers them as a kid and the parent and dealing with them and something bad happening. And how the circus is probably behind all this somehow, I guess. Question mark on everything I'm saying from this point on. So yeah, they ambush the circus. Satoru's now teamed up with these like railway police. And it turns out, of course, it's a trap. They're prepared. And they blow up the train and they're all kind of knocked out. We get all this dream sequencey stuff even more and whatever. It kind of shows the dad disappearing, being taken, dying. Who knows? And then Satoru wakes up, shoots the machine. It blows up with a bunch of fireworks. For some reason, all alongside the New Year's song, is playing. It's like a weird celebration, like it was meant to happen, like it was all a joke, which I guess maybe it was. And then they find the missing people, and that's pretty much the movie. And then just a little bit of wrapping stuff up. We learn more about Tony doesn't remember or know anything about himself. And then Satoru reopens Otsuji Detective Agency. Saki's there waiting, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's nice. That's the film." And it's just like, what the fuck? This could have had at least 30 minutes, preferably a whole nother hour, just to slow the fuck down. What was going on? What was the point of any of this? And this was just the first film. And somehow I liked it more. That's the other weird part. Because the other one does slow down a bit, but it still makes not that much sense. But it kind of does. What's wrong with me? Simple credits scroll by with weird circusy music. And I will tell you, the music is the best part of this film, which I don't make enough note of in other things. And when I was looking up information, I saw someone rate the music C+. Fuck them. That was the only good part about this movie, because the rest was nonsense. And the music fit that perfectly. Oh, the music's not as great in Kuramerukagari, which is the second film. it was hard for me to tell which one to start with. I did whatever Crunchyroll put first. When I was trying to look up information about these first, a lot of them kept putting Kuramerukagari first, and the reason that is because there's there's like characters in these that remind people of characters from Durara. One of my favorite series. It has my favorite character of anything in it, which is there's two characters that look or seem vaguely like Izaya and Shizuo from Durara. Like they're kind of enemies and they hate each other in Durara. And there's two characters that are kind of like that in here, but I actually disagree. That like I can see it if someone points out to me. If I watch this without seeing that first, then I'll be like, I wouldn't think anything of it. So there's a librarian named Isaya / information broker. So yeah, there's that similarity with Isaya. Isaya is such a amusing character to me. One of my favorite characters. And then there's someone named Iwajima, who's supposed to be like Shizuo Heiwajima. So the names are similar too, and this one's more like not so violently and angry as Shizuo or Heiwa and Durara. Just it's like a security force or single person security force, but it's more just like going around and being on alert and also kind of an information broker. So I can see the similarities, but not really. But it also just made figuring out what to watch first harder because people want to keep talking about Durara. I get it. It's a great series. And it kind of has that tone a little bit with... It really focuses on the characters a lot more and how they interact and connect to each other. So it has that too. Who? Wait a minute. Let me look up. See who wrote Durara. Durara. Was by... Oh! Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, it's written by the same person. So that makes more sense now. But still, it's fine. Anyway, so talking about the actual story, it is already like visually clearer. Kind of, except for one character I never really understood, and then more upbeat. The first character they really introduced, I have no idea still who this person is. I think part of a police or military force too. I don't know, but it has a like less grim tone to it. The music actually isn't as. The music is kind of it's upbeat, but it's not as like so chaotically upbeat like the other one. But it takes place kind of I think it's like a hierarchy thing. It's like the box garden, the Taihei groups, Hinode, coal mines. I think there's like the box garden is kind of like the more upper class whatever part of this whole city. But throughout here there's been like these holes opening up that go to the Mushikuim caverns. And another, you're like, oh, one of these caverns so mysterious. We're going to go discover the truth of them. No, we don't. I don't think we go into a fucking cavern. I think maybe we did at one point. It kind of seemed like a cavern. I don't know. What? They're just trying to map it. Maybe the whole cave system under this city is the Shiku caverns. I don't know. It seems like they kept referring to these caverns and the tunnels as two different things. And then, who's this person? I don't know. Some person is looking for a mapper for the caverns. And like I said, military, police, something like that. It mainly gets help from someone named Candy Shop. Just getting shown around. Hardly interact with any of the other characters, the other main characters that pop up a lot. And most of my notes, if you look at it, which you can, I'll put them up on my Ko-fi Patreon. My next lines of notes is just character. There's the main character we focus on is Kagari, who is the mapper going through these tunnels, just mapping away. And a lot makes money by given some of these maps, I think there's some maps that are kept secret, to the information / librarian, Isaya. Then there's another little mapper, another kid, because Kagari's also a kid, named Yuya. Kind of just wants to stay out of trouble, but also wants to get out of that and go somewhere else. I guess to like the more upper class area of Box Garden. And then there's a inventor / machinist named Kuchinawa, who I think has more connection to Yuya or something like that. I don't know the exact connection. And then, like as I brought up earlier, Iwajima, who acts more like security, just kind of like the little hero, what do you call it, vigilante, but not in a mask. Just local neighborhood, beat 'em up. Yeah. And then they keep talking about some bad organization called Mujina. They don't go too into what Mujina actually is, or what they're doing, what they want. Just like a mysterious force. But yeah. So, yeah, eventually another large hole opens up. Yuya disappears. Kagari goes looking in the caverns for Yuya. And while doing that, comes upon a group of miners underground. And I think this is where they actually show a cavern at. Like one of the Mushikui caverns. Maybe. I don't know. It still might just be an opening in the tunnel and not actually the caverns they keep talking about. But the miners are kind of being influenced by people that look strangely familiar to the Laughing Mask. And I was like, oh, up until this point, knowing they're supposed to be connected, I was like, does this take place in the past? Is this in the future? What's going on? I still don't know if it's either one of those. But I will say, one of the people looks exactly like one of the leaders of the Laughing Mask in the other film. So it could be happening at the same time in just different areas. I thought, this was my thought process up to it. It's like, oh, is this a prequel? It could be a prequel. And like where they're at now, where they're living now is actually the dim. And the higher up, eventually it becomes the surface. And like things happen that cause others to go underground. All these sinkholes maybe bury parts. And all these caverns were like the actual dark. But we never find them, so it doesn't matter. And if that's not the case, then maybe this is in the future. And all this stuff is, things are starting to get built more and more up. And starting to get more and more revealed. I don't think that's it either. I think these are just happening kind of at the same time, just in completely different parts of the world. Who knows? Or maybe there is some connection. These caverns eventually connect to the dark. Or the deep dark. So, I don't know. But the only real connection you see is these potential Laughing Mask / Mujina characters. And then the little wooden or little doll, a bird and rodent dolls. I don't think there was anything else that was in both of them. No. I think that was about it. But yeah. So, Kagari's looking through the tunnels, comes out to this big opening where there's a bunch of miners getting pretty much manipulated by the Mujina / maybe Laughing Face. And then they reveal like this giant bug insect machine that shoots these green globs, like I said at the very beginning. Kagari actually sees this, but then they also see Kagari and send the thing after Kagari jumps into like a waterway to escape. And then it's pulled out by Yuya, who is fine. It was apparently just avoiding all the fighting that was happening. I don't remember there being fighting happening before this. Maybe the big hole was going to cause something. I don't know. And then another confusing part. I guess these big machines, or at least one of the specific machines' name is Aburamushi. I think we learn, kind of get a vague understanding that I don't know, that long ago. They're like somewhat recently, I don't know, within a lifetime of some people, because someone was involved with it here. There's like some big automation on automaton incident, some little war with that. They don't give too much detail. They kind of show some scenes of it, but I don't know. So now the minor group is making a move to get Isaya for some reason. I don't know the reasons. Iwajima, I think, warns, or there's a warning or something. They talk about something. But anyways, Isaya is prepared, gets away, and while that's happening, Iwajima instigates a dynamite fight, and that's, I guess, exactly what you imagine to be. Everyone's just throwing sticks of dynamite at each other. It's, then there's like a couple big machines that go around. I'm assuming one of them is a Ramushi, or maybe that's what the machines are called in general. It was never clear again. Ooh, and then when just a bunch of them are cornered or whatever, and the machine's about to get them, it reveals Yuya's a traitor. Oh, of course. But still wants Kagari to come and leave too. It's like, really? The fuck? But Kagari rejects because just wants to stay and map out the caverns. That's the main thing. And it's just, oh, okay, so I guess Yuya runs away anyways. Coming back to that in a moment, because that was also kind of the fuck you doing kind of moment. Oh, I can taste the lime now. So this is where we learn Kuchinawa fights back. Just a bunch of them with the wheelchair. That it's like all the other machines. It also shoots green globs. There's also sends out these other little flying machines to help. Then we see that backstory of Kuchinawa was involved in the automaton incident. I guess maybe it was the inventor behind him, regretted it after seeing all the destruction, about to off self, but then found a baby. I don't know who the fuck that baby was. Maybe it was you. They never say who the baby was. Maybe it was the person riding on the back of the wheelchair when we first meet. Huh? I don't know. Never really made that clear either. Oh, I'm kind of getting annoyed the more I talk about this. About just, I don't know what the fuck was happening. Take time. Movies don't have to be short. They shouldn't be short. Take your time to make a full movie. I know they're not easy to make, but damn. It could have been so much better. Okay, so we go back to Yuya, who is trying to get paid by the miners in the middle of the dynamite fight. And you're just like, hey, can you give me the money and all that stuff? And then a machine, I think, falls or tries to attack or does something. It's supposed to have something to protect, but it turns out to be just a toy. Nobody's taking you seriously. But falls into a hole and is lost. Or, like, tries to run away through the hole. I don't know how you get lost. But Kagari is actually able to save Yuya. They seem to explore the tunnels together. I don't know how Kagari found Yuya and then didn't know how to get out. So I'm just assuming they're exploring. And they just forgot about everything else. Until they're also attacked by a machine, which they're able to escape. And then that's it. Eventually it ends. Everything's over. Everything's fine. And I guess everything's okay with Yuya. I don't know. But it ends with Kagari just going, oh, Kagari loves Yuya's mask. I was like, oh, okay. Huh. And then the other person, I don't know what the fuck is going on with the other person. Like, I think, it seems so similar. But there's like a little officer or sergeant, whatever, involved at the very end that comes, who I think was like one of the people chasing after or first found Satoru in the other film while disguised like a laughing mask. So there's that. I don't know exactly for sure. I could probably easily go and double check, but I'm not. So yeah, that's it for this film too. A whole bunch of like, it kind of made more sense, but just so many questions that never get answered, or I just never find the answer to. Credits roll, they start off nice and calm, like typical credits, and then they start scrolling by like the other film, get more upbeat and jazzy, and it's like, okay. And then that's where I was like, what the fuck was the point of these? I don't know. I can't say they were good. But I was like, maybe they weren't that bad, and I just didn't get them. I'm having trouble with all this. But I mean, I watched them. It's just another thing I watched. It wasn't as long. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's good. It wasn't longer. Imagine another hour me just being confused. Add another 30 minutes to each. I'm just like, oh, I don't know what this is. Because who knows if they would have actually explained anything else. But I don't know. I can't really recommend this to anyone. It made no sense. It didn't really feel connected at all. But I guess it could be. I can't believe one was also the creator of Durarara. I didn't even bother looking into that. I guess it makes sense now. I don't know. Like, I just see so much potential. That's the thing. Is I see so much potential for this to be good. It just feels so needlessly rushed. Like they just want to get it done and over with and say, "Hey, okay, well we did this. Look at here's something." Maybe the books are better. The books are usually better. What a shame. Oh, because now, like, I have to compare it to other films. Like, if I was to compare it to other films that I didn't like Your Name, still one of the worst anime films I've seen, and I don't understand why people loved it. It's just so bad. Shinkai. Wait, what is your name? I could probably easily look it up or find it. I have some of the books. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to just keep going on about it not making sense. I think you get the point of that. The middle of the first movie was pretty good. It was the actual movie part. Honestly, until all the cave stuff started happening, like looking for Yuya and On, the second one was actually pretty decent. And then they're just like, oh yeah, well, we gotta finish this. We gotta move on. It's like, you didn't have to do that. And just so much. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stop. So yeah, that is all I'm going to say before I just keep rambling on about Kurayukaba and Kuramerukagari. If you want to check them out, they're on Crunchyroll. They're an hour a piece. You can watch them. You don't have to watch them back to back. It's not like they're really that connected. If anything, it might just be a fun thing. But, oh yeah, maybe it's more of a kind of theorizing story. You just watch it just so you can make your own theories about it. I don't know. Yeah, but and then the music. The music was the best part. It kind of also made no sense, but the rest of the film didn't make any sense. So I excuse it. But well, I don't know. Look, I try to ask some kind of question. I didn't have a drink really. If you have a drink after listening to all of this, or if you've already watched these, and you think you have a drink that fits these perfectly or whatever, go ahead, tell me about it. Tell me which one you like better. Tell me if they made sense to you, and I'm just too dumb and drunk right now. I'm not that drunk. Well, we'll see. To fully understand them. If you also just thought they should have been longer, I don't know. Let's talk more about them and what they're supposed to be. You can do that on my social medias, the AC Stories. Email me, theacstories@gmail.com. I have a Discord. You can join me there. We can talk about all kinds of stuff. But yeah, go ahead and do that. So much nonsense. I probably won't have any pictures. I thought about taking a picture of everything I was drinking, but it's nothing special, so I don't think I'm going to bother with it. I don't have picture notes anymore, or notebook notes, so I won't be taking picture of my notes. I will still be posting my notes on Ko-fi and Patreon, so you can find them if you want to just look at my nonsense. I don't know if my notes make any sense either. But I do want to thank my Ko-fi and Patreon supporter, Julio Vasquez. If you also want to help support me, you don't have to. It's, I'm doing a whole lot more on there, mainly story stuff, notes, shout outs, stuff like that. Join it, look at it if you want. I keep it really cheap because I don't think it should be expensive for anyone. It's just a little extra donation kind of way to support me if you want to. I try not to use it for alcohol, but I mean, the money's going to me, then whatever I use money on, period, is kind of what it goes to. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, that is going to be it for this alcohol and anime. I've been your talk container, DAC Stories. Very confused and whatnot, but until next month with an actual film, I think that would make more sense than an actual drink. Bye.